the best way to describe it. Honestly, it's like a side quest. It's like a house in pretty much the middle of nowhere, but it's offered at such a good price that I'm thinking, and it wasn't marketed that well. So I'm thinking buying it and then reselling it and then using that money to help fund my ventures. So we're going to see how this goes. Yeah, look how pretty it is though. So I made the attempt to go to that Caliente property that I mentioned in my previous video. And it was a beautiful area. It took hella long to get there. Probably took like 2.5, 3 hours because I left like super early. I think I left at like 4 a.m. because I wanted to beat the heat. And then by the time I got there though, so the last like 5 miles were like all dirt roads. So I was like, I don't have like an off-road vehicle or anything like that. So it was kind of like, all right, let me see how far I can get. And then the last 1.5 miles to the house, it was like an even rockier dirt road. And I knew like I would need an off-road vehicle to get there. And I just didn't have one. So at that point I was like, all right, like I'm just gonna go back home. And I'm kind of glad it honestly didn't work out because I was looking at like recent properties in the area and there wasn't really anything that was like popping up at me. And then something closed that was like after I had went, that was like the same size, same city, the lot was a little bit smaller, but the actual house itself was the same size. And it sold for like only $70,000, and which was very alarming. Because the overbid for that Caliente property was 55 and change. So there was just literally not enough meat on that bone to justify like I can't even imagine the trips back and forth, trying to figure out what's there, trying to fix what's there, trying to market what's there, the commissions, just the cost to sell it. Like it just would not make any sense. So I went ahead and I just decided to pass on that. And then I did have a chance to go see, there's this property, this lot in, I forget the name, but I did get the chance to see this lot. So this was the first property right here, which I honestly was not a fan of because obviously it was off the side of this busy road. And then the actual property that I was kind of interested in, where the person said that a previous home was there, is right here. And I liked it because it was off of a quieter street. But then once I like actually climbed up and onto this land, I couldn't figure out what it was because it didn't really look like a house was there kind of at all, like maybe a hut, if that. And then I looked up and there were all these oak trees, which means development here would be so hard. So I literally just turned around and was like, nah. Kagel Canyon, that's where those two lots were. So I honestly wasn't a big fan of those. I talked about it a little bit within the clips, but essentially I liked it because of the price. They were both sub 100,000 and I liked how close they were relatively to like the greater LA area, but not big fans. So from there, I did decide, and don't think this happened all in one day. This was like over the course of the past 4 weeks, please. So from there, then I went ahead and I checked out this lot in the city of Los Angeles, which I really liked. And I think I'm gonna do some more digging on this one. What immediately jumped out to me with this one is how obviously the size, it's like this little triangle. And it was also right across the street from this freeway wall, but I liked it because obviously it's in the city of LA. You have utilities in the ground ready to go. And honestly, anything built here is gonna sell for a lot because it's LA. Then after seeing that lot in LA, which I was very intrigued by, I did go ahead and check out these couple of lots in Ontario. All right, so this is the one, I happen to be in the area to measure a property. So this is, I think they're asking 119,000. It's very obvious that there's a whole house and they probably SB9'd this. And this is probably the garage. So it's definitely not as big. Oh, and also it's off of an alley. It is very flat, which is nice. There are not a ton of, there are no oak trees, which is nice. There are clearly utilities on site because there's existing house. Yeah. I just do want to check out the area though. I will say it's a nice area. Like, look at these streets. Like, oh, and it's so close to Euclid. So if you don't know, Euclid is like one of the prettiest streets in San Gabriel Valley. So it's very nice. I'm gonna be super lazy and do this for my car, but literally this is on the other side. Like, it's so nice. And then this is the whole like Metrolink or Amtrak train station. So I feel like Metrolink is not far off either. Like, look how scenic and pretty this is. Okay, kind of like it. I kind of like it. I don't know. It's like, I kind of like it. It's not like I mean, I don't know. I kind of like it. I like how it's flat. I don't like how it's off the alley, but the location is kind of smacking right now. So I think there's another lot around here and I'm gonna look at it real quickly, but I have to look it up real quick. Hold on. This one I'm not feeling. So there's another one down the street. It's further from the downtown area, but literally this is like across the street from, this is what it's across the street from. Recycling. The train tracks and a recycling center. Like, this looks so rough. I'm not even gonna film the rest of this lot because it looks so cool. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because filming that lot would have been shady AF. And it was a tiny street. Like, I could barely fit my car through it. I was not feeling it. But the one accessible off the alley, I'm actually kind of feeling that one. But I will say my favorite is still the Hillcrest property. Yeah, that's still my favorite. The good news is these properties aren't necessarily going anywhere anytime soon because they are vacant lots. So that does give me a little bit of time to do the research that I need to in terms of, A, can I actually build what I want to build on each of those, and then what that would look like in terms of fees, and then most importantly, what would that look like in terms of end value? Because the last thing I want to do is do all of this work only to have a house that like will barely come out or have equity built into it once it's done. That's kind of the real goal there. So yeah, I'm definitely really excited about those last two, the one in Los Angeles and then the one in Ontario. So I will be doing a deep dive into those, researching the zoning, stuff like that. And then I will continue to keep you updated on my journey. We'll see what happens with those. So thank you for watching and following along, and subscribe to stay up to date, I guess. Thanks. Bye guys.